Please.
My name is Sharon. It's about drones. I was in Iceland. You can use drones almost everywhere, but in America it's a bit more complicated. So anybody that's used drones for your videos, can you comment about that?
Drones. Drones, and more drones. So, Tony, don't have a drone?
I own a drone.
You own a drone?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. I bought it before, so I'm not really in the drone conversation, but my drone story is I had to have one, right? So when we started in 2017, Casey Neistat was drone and everything, right? It's like, oh, we gotta have a drone. I would tell Jenny, like, we gotta have a drone. And so we finally pulled the trigger and bought a drone before we went on our first Princess cruise. And very specifically, princesses don't bring a drone on board. So I got the drone, and then when I couldn't take it on Princess, I'm like, okay. And so I never took it anywhere. So I just have a drone that I've flown around my neighborhood. So these guys have done a lot more with drones. And every time I talk about buying something new, Jenny B goes, is it going to be like the drone? Or? Yeah. So every once in a while, I got to fly the drone to make it seem like it was a good purchase.
Yeah. You know, I got a little drone, DJI Spark. I use it. I've been wanting to upgrade for quite some time now, but just haven't done it. But the little Spark works great. It's small enough and compact enough where I can put it in my suitcase, and it's only been flagged one time, and they took it, put it to guest services, and then had to get it before I got off the ship. But
Which cruise line was that?
oh Jesus, I don't remember. Honey, which cruise line was that? Pride of America. That's which one it was. But other than that, I haven't had any problems. I take it out to port. A lot of times you're not able to fly it at port, but I'm just kind of the person that would rather ask for forgiveness than permission. You know, I'll just go hide behind the bush and send that bad boy up and get the footage. You know, that's what it's really all about for me. I've only been caught like 3 times.
And you're here.
But it makes the videos look really cool.
All right, so I mean, I used to see a lot of great drone footage, and I said I want to get into that. I want to check it out. So I got the Mavic Mini at first, right? It's a very small drone. It's under 256 grams, so you don't have to register it. Because if you buy a drone that's over that weight, that size, you have to register it with the FAA. And then in order to fly it, you have to pass some basic tests. And if we're being totally honest here in this room, if you want to use the video and post it on YouTube and monetize it, you have to be licensed. Okay, you have to go down to a place in your town, you have to go through the testing, you have to be totally licensed. So that's an important part of that and something don't forget. Now the reality is, I don't know if, you know, a smaller channel that's not a monster size probably doesn't have to worry too much about that, unless you piss somebody off and they want to call you out on it and try to get you in trouble. I've seen larger channels that have talked about they flew it in state parks and things, and people, you know, told on them and they got fined and stuff. So you just gotta, you know, it's all about the risk and the reward. But after using the Mini a lot, but every time we went to a port, I'd be like, I want to fly, but oh, there's a wind. And with a smaller drone, that wind will come through, just whisk that thing away. So then I got an Air 2, a little bit heavier. That thing will fly through most anything. So that's what I use a lot now. And you were talking about, like, the cruise ships will say you can't bring it. The reality is when you have a smaller drone where the arms will fold in, it really doesn't look much bigger than a large cell phone. You know, looking at it, you know,
Very
in
small.
your suitcase.
I wish I would have brought mine.
So quite often it comes in and comes out pretty easily. You know, they're really going to see something if the arms don't fold and it's got a big box that you're carrying on. Those things get flagged really easily. So only 1 or 2 cruise lines will hold it and keep it, and usually you can request it to, you know, go into port and fly it. But just make sure you know the rules. And the reality is just ask somebody. We went to Roatan to a resort there, and there was a guard, and I said, hey man, can we fly this? And he said, yeah, no problem. You know, but I've been in a port and asked somebody, and he said, no, you can't do it here. So, you know, just ask if you can, and then you'll find out if it's really cool to fly it. And the reality is, like you said, sometimes you just, you know, once you get, you know, 50 feet above the ground, no one knows what's going on. It's that first zzz that everyone, you know, looks over and says, what's happening? So going up is easy, coming down is a little trickier. But I don't know, a lot of guys just like to put little clips of drone, you know, like a second here and a second there in the video. I like to put in something that's a whole sequence of drone shots, you know, a couple of seconds each one, so people can really get a feel for what it looks like from above. And I think it can really add to your video. And give you a better view of what you're, where you are and what you're looking at.
Sure. The Margaritaville was really nice.
Yeah, I think.
So all right, so that's an example. So we were at we're in Grand Turk, and and at first I walked all the way out of the Grand Turk place to try to fly, and I was getting some restrictions because it's not too far from an airport. But sometimes you can override the restriction, take responsibility for your actions, and they'll let you fly. And then there was another dude there that I talked to who was he had a drone, and he literally just was in Margaritaville right at his chair in the pool and flew it. And I may or may not have had a couple beers in me at this point. And I said, you know what, I think we can do that too. So, so we just flew it up and flew it out. And I'm not sure if some of the videos I've made could have got me in trouble in the long run, but some of them are pretty cool. The shot when you're going over the ship is a great money shot. It looks fantastic. As long as you're not interfering or causing a safety risk, then, maybe you can get away with it.
Yeah, I think, the thing with drones, if you use it right, I think it could enhance your video, right? Oftentimes, when we're doing, this here or even this here, it's a very closed-in, tight shot, right? You're not, even if you're using a wide-angle lens, right? You're seeing here. And a drone allows you to really pull that entire view back, and you get this wide open view of exactly where you're at and what the island looks like, or maybe what the shore excursion that you're on, the kind of a different perspective of it that you otherwise wouldn't be able to get. But like these guys have said, that comes with its own challenges and restrictions oftentimes in these, especially in the Caribbean, these small islands. I guess, I don't know if it was on purpose or by accident, but they put the airport right next to the cruise port. And so, St. Thomas is a great example of that. St. Thomas, where Royal Caribbean and Celebrity Docks, you're on the ship, on the Lido deck, and you look up, there's a plane 250 feet above you, right? And I think that's where, for us, you have to have common sense come in and say, you know what, it would be really stupid to fly right there, right? And so then, I know for me, I did it anyway. I did it anyway, and then like Jamie said, the FAA will put an alert on your device for the DJI drones. It syncs to your cell phone, right? And so it'll come up and it'll tell you you're in a restricted zone, and you basically have to take responsibility and acknowledge that if you cause a plane crash right now, that you are going to be liable for that plane crash. And DJI holds that stuff, on file, and happy to say I haven't caused a plane crash. Have you caused a plane crash, Jamie?
Not yet.
He says not yet, folks. But no, typically when that happens, and when, I recognize that, oh my God, I'm a lot closer to an airport than I want to be, we'll bring that sucker back. At the end of the day, like I said at the beginning, we're trying to get, a different perspective, not cause an accident. So I think, drones are great as long as they're used responsibly, kind of like alcohol, right? So I would treat it just the same.
So just to add, whenever it got flagged coming back on, so I got off of Pride America with it, but when I got ready to come back on it, they were like, and it was the first time they had to confiscate it. So you cannot bring this off port. Well, they took it, and I says, well, I went down to guest services and talked to security and the people at guest services, and I asked them, I said, look, can I, when I get ready to get off port, can I just give you my name and you'll give me the drone back, and I can take it off and do what I got to do and then bring it back on and give it back to you? And they said, yeah. So that was totally cool. So they confiscated it, but when it was port day and I was ready to get off, they would give it to me. I'd have to just give them my name. They'd give me a little ticket, get my drone back, I'd take it off, do what I had to do, get back on, give it back to them, give them the ticket. That was that. And but like he said, just use common sense,
Yeah.
and hide really good.
And do not fly it on the ship. Do not fly it on the ship. Those
Josh.
never on the ship.
And do you or do you not have it with you now?
Yes. So next question over here.